I thought I'd make some coffee while I spill some tea with you this morning. What do you think? Let's go do it. All right, friends, coffee's done, in hand, ready to spill some tea. So, one of the things that we knew would happen at Soona is that we were going to change the way that photo and video was made. And anytime you change something, change is inherently hard for people. People struggle with change. And sometimes that struggle is good because it creates things that are better, but sometimes it brings on the haters. And boy, oh boy, if in the last 2 months, we haven't had a bunch of haters. And it's really funny because on the one hand, if you have haters, you're probably doing something right. On the other hand, if you have haters, it's really hard not to get distracted by them and to not feel a little bit concerned about what they're saying, because sometimes it's just outright lies and you don't want people telling outright lies about your business, right? That's a big deal. But one of the things that I say often in the business is 1 time is an outlier, 3 times is a crowd, and 5 times is a trend. Anytime something happens 5 times is a trend or a thought that is happening widely. And one of the trends that we've been noticing is a lot of photographers coming to us online and saying that we're ruining the photo industry. So I thought we would just tackle that head on. Is Soona ruining the photo industry? Obviously, I don't believe that we are, but let me explain to you in very specific detail why I think that's true. So a lot of folks think that we are quote unquote ruining the photo industry because we're driving down the price of the photos and videos that we create, and that no photographer could work for $39 per photo. And actually, I agree with that. If you were just trying to hire a photographer who was a freelancer for $39, you wouldn't be able to do so, and you should not be able to do so. But that is part of why we're building a startup company that is intended to scale. When I started working in this industry, I worked as a freelancer, and I have to tell you, the lowest I ever got paid was $14 a photo for one of the biggest home design sites on the planet, $14 a photo. And I've been paid a lot worse I've worked for free, I've worked for exposure. There are so many times when the industry hasn't really been supportive of my creativity. And not only that, but because we're working in this freelancer economy, prices would fluctuate, the amount of work and how often I was working would fluctuate. There was no accountability on people treating me with decency as a human being, communicating with me about when I was going to get paid. There were so many issues with being a freelancer that made it really hard for me to have a consistent career. It made it hard to save money. It made it hard to get health insurance. It made it hard to create plans for the future, whether that's through a retirement or with family planning. And when my co-founder Haley and I started thinking about how could we solve this problem, clearly folks in the world want to spend less money on creativity. But we love creative people. We want them to have good jobs. So we set out with this simple vision. How could we design a company that could create the best jobs in the industry for creative people? And what we mean by the best jobs is having highly competitive salaries, amazing benefits, things like unlimited PTO, total freedom to do the creative work that you want to do, and not having to worry about whether or not someone is going to undervalue your work and what you're providing or lowball you in your prices. That is really part of the genesis of why we started Soona. And looking back on that, even just 18 months ago, that's still true. Every single day, we're trying to make decisions about how to support the business in a way that allows that to still be true. $39 photos and $93 videos are possible at Soona because we're using technology to offset a lot of the processes and the parts of the freelance process that are super painful and most creatives don't like anyway. Things like pre-production processes that take tons of phone calls, tons of emails. We're trying to put all of that online so that the customer can spend a lot of time on that, but that the creatives don't have to spend their energy and their time farting around with email responses for hours and hours on end, which, by the way, is a lot of the sunk cost of being a freelancer. Many of the parts of the post-production we're trying to offload, including the delivery, the shot selection, actual editing of the content to meet the need of the client. Those things are also going to be handled exclusively by technology, so that the creatives are really only focusing on the part that they love the most and where they add the most value, which is actually hands on cameras, creating content, collaborating with the client in the studio. I think that is why a $39 photo is compelling. It delivers value to the end customer, but it creates an economic truth that makes it possible for our creatives to have great jobs. And while we're a startup company and we're in the very earliest stages, we believe this is an experiment worth trying. We believe this is an experiment worth improving upon because we love creatives. We are creatives. I'm a creative. I would have wanted this job when I was graduating from college, good Lord, 14 years ago. This is the vision that we believe can solve the problem of creatives not being valued and customers needing more creative for less money. And so no, soona is not hurting the photo industry. We're not ruining the photo industry. We're reinventing the photo industry to make it better for everyone, creative to customer. And we really hope that you'll join us on that journey. The last thing I'll leave you with today before I tell you to subscribe to this channel and like this video is that you can't do anything if you're not willing to make some waves. Nothing great happens if we just stay stagnant. So evolving and changing and trying new things, this is a good thing. This is a positive thing. And we should all embrace it together because we just might be able to fix our industry together. All right, you have a beautiful day. Cheers. I'm gonna go have my coffee and enjoy the rest of my lovely day. And we'll talk soon.